Okay, good vach, Freilich Chanukah to all, good Chodesh to all. Tonight's share is rather quick. It really is rather quick, and I'm just going to go and share with you. Some of you have already heard this before, but it's like Emily Akshay Masai. It's really a very appropriate thing to share. So here we go. I received this in the mail. I received this in the mail. It says, as you can see it says to donate to Rabbi Balanes. Donate to Rabbi Balanes during Chanukah, and particularly on the day of Rosh Chodesh Teves, is especially whatever that word says. And one who does so will be blessed with good health, prosperity, and enormous blessing. And it says from Rav Chaim Palachi. It says Rav Chaim Palachi. He was the chief rabbi of Smyrna in Turkey, and again in the 19th century, he was a God Latzu. So that's his source. The question is why does this have to do with why Dafka Rosh Chodesh Teves so you're giving Ner Chanukah? What does it have to do with Chanukah and Me'er Balanes? So there's I don't know what I'm doing here. There's a I think I just lost it. There's a pasuk. It's in Bereshis. It's in Perek Lamed Aleph. It's Pasha Mem Beis, and in that pasuk, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Yaakov Avinu is telling Lavan if the Lavan's running to kill him, Yaakov is giving a whole speech, and he says Elokei Avram upachad Yitzchak, and the question is why didn't he say Elokei? I should have said Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak. Why did he say Pachad Yitzchak? So Rashi brings that in the lifetime of a person, you can't be miyaches the name of a Kadosh Baruch Hu to them. That's what Rashi brings. You can't be miyaches the name of a Kadosh Baruch Hu to them. It doesn't work. You can't do that. So he said that something very interesting. I just want to get this off. He said that I don't know, keep on. He says that as long as a person's alive, you can't be miyaches the name. Therefore, Yitzchak was still alive. He said Pachad Yitzchak. So there's a Gemara in Daf Yud Ches. It tells the story where Me'er Balanes got his fame from. A famous Gemara Daf Yud Ches and Avodah Zarah. The Gemara describes how Rav Meir was married to Bruria, the daughter of Rav Chanina ben Tradian, whose sister unfortunately was taken to a kupet shel zaynis. She was taken to a brothel, and Bruria told Rav Meir, get my sister, get your sister-in-law out of there. Rav Meir dresses up as a Roman. He takes a target shel zav. He takes a large packet of golden coins, and he's going to bribe the guard, provided that she is on the up and up, that she hasn't been nichshal in Yanizima. Rav Meir comes. She doesn't recognize him. He's dressed as a Roman. He propositions her, and she says she's not available. Her menses are upon her. And Rav Meir goes to the side, and he watches kama men go ahead and request to be with her, and she refuses each one. So he says, I got to get her out of here. He goes to the proprietor of the brothel, says, listen, I'm willing to give you money, a large sum of money to go ahead and free this girl. I'll buy her. And he said, listen, I would do it, but the problem is that I have to answer to Rome, and they're not going to go ahead and they're not going to be so happy. So he goes, I'll give you a large sum of money. Here if you take for yourself, and here if you bribe them. So he goes, and what happens when the money runs out? So he says, well, I have this good piece of advice for you. If the money runs out, say Elokah Demeir Aneni. You say Elokah Demeir Aneni, you have no problems. So the proprietor said to Rav Meir, how do I know it works? The Meir says, watch. So it seems there were dogs in the neighborhood that were very vicious. They were known to bite people. He took a clod of earth, he threw it at the dog. The dog came and started running towards him. The Meir said, Elokah Demeir Aneni. And the dog stopped. Says the proprietor, okay, I'm in. Gives him the money. The Gemara concludes that when the money ran out, they were going to hang the proprietor. And he said, Elokah Demeir Aneni, and he was saved. I don't know what happened, but the rope broke. They couldn't hang him. It was not possible. They put up on the gates of Rome, they put up they say it was a city near Israel called Rome, not necessarily in Italy. They put up a picture of Rav Meir. You got to get this guy. He became a fugitive and he ran to Bavel. We see that the famous lashon El Kodem Aneni is an incantation of Hatzalah. The question is Rav Meir was alive? How could he go ahead based upon saying Pachad Yitzchak, because we're not miyaches Hashem's name to the person? How could he go ahead and say El Kodem Aneni? So I'm trying to share with you, if I can, the famous words of the Maharsha, which of course are no longer on the screen. So I will go ahead right and I'll tell you what he says. Says the Maharsha the following: when it says Elokah de Meir Aneni, he did not mean the person Meir. He meant the God that lit up during Hanukkah in the times of the Yevanim, who lit up the oil for us, illuminated us, and saved us. So when you say Elokah de Meir Aneni, you're not saying a noun, the person Meir. You're saying the verb, the one who lit up or illuminated. The noun is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but he's referring to the action of what? Of Ner Chanukah. So therefore, says Rav Chaim Palaji beautifully, actually was the son of Ram who said it, that it's amazing that during Chanukah, this whole Indian of Rav Meir Balanes, because that's where he got his name from. Okay, Meir Balanes from that incident. Elokah de Meir Aneni. So therefore, it's very, very appropriate. I think that was that word, but I couldn't pronounce it. It's a very proprietous time to go ahead and give money to Rameya Balanes during Chanukah, and especially Rosh Chodesh. I don't know why Daf Rosh Chodesh, but I did give money to Rameya Balanes. I'm not getting a cut in this commission for this request, but it happens to be Rosh Chodesh Teves, and this would be the time. If you can ever get for Rameya Balanes, this would be the time to give. So I thought that's an appropriate way to begin to share. And now let's do the Gemara. We're up to a new parak. We're up to parak Samach in Masechta Nedarim. Again, going through what does a lashon b'nei adam mean? By Nedarim, we go after lashon b'nei adam. What exactly does it mean when a person says something? And the last parak was Nedarim and Yerek. This is the lashon of koinim yayin. So a person says koinim yayin shani tayim hayoim. He says it's koinim any yayin that I go ahead and drink today. So yayin is asa to him, but he said hayoim. So eino asa ella ad shetechshaf. Hayoim means the day, this specific day that he's on. He would only be aser ad shetechshaf. How he said Shabbazu, that this week wine is asa to me. So asa b'chol Shabbos, he's asa at all of that week. Who Shabbos she'avra, and the Shabbos at the end of the week of Ra is part of the Neder Avar. It goes back to him. In other words, we don't count that as the first day of the next week. We count it as the end of the week, and it would be part of the Neder. He would not be able to drink wine on that particular Shabbos. Chodesh zeh aser b'chol chodesh. He's aser the whole chodesh, and very appropriate. Rosh Chodesh lahaba, and Rosh Chodesh goes on the next month. So if a person would have made this Neder by saying Chodesh zeh, he would have been aser in Kislev, but tonight he would be mutter. Why? Because it's Rosh Chodesh Teves. He would be mutter. As we're going to see on the other days, I think even yesterday was mutter, even though it's the 30th day, right? If the next month is Chasa, and this is Malay the month, it would be us. He would still be mutter on that day. Shana Zu, if he says that year, Asa b'chol Shana, Rosh Hashanah l'asa lavai, and Rosh Hashanah will be part of the next year. He'll be able to drink wine on Rosh Hashanah. Okay. Shvua zeh, this Shemitah cycle, Asa, he's in the middle of the Shemitah cycle. He says it's Asa for me to drink wine. So it'd be Asa b'chol Shvua, u'shvia she'avra. And Shemitah year would be part of, like Shabbos where she'avra will be part of the Neder, so too Shemitah would be part of the Neder, would be on the coming cycle, will be part of his Neder, and would be Asa to drink wine during the 7th year. The Im Amar Yoim Echad, however, he doesn't say Hayoim. He says Yoim Echad, which is mashma one day, or Shabbos Achas, one Shabbos, or Chodesh Echad, or 1 month, or Shana Achas, or 1 year, or Shvua Echad, or 1 Shemitah cycle, then Asa Miyom Liyom would be Asa from Me'es La'es. So in a year it would be 24 hours, a day would be 24 hours, a Chodesh would be 30 days, a month, a year would be 365 or 354, I guess, and the Shemitah cycle would be Asa in the whole Shemitah cycle from when he made the Neder till 7 years later in the next Shemitah cycle. If he's in the middle, it would go a full extension because he's saying he's not limiting it to a time, he's limiting it to a period of time as expressed by a whole day, a whole month, a whole Shemitah cycle. That would be the difference. Ada Pesach, if he makes a shvua not to drink wine until Pesach, Aser ad she'egia, he's aser ad till Pesach. In other words, but he'd be mutter on Pesach. However, if he says ad she'yehei Pesach until it is Pesach, then aser ad she'yetze. It'll be aser until Pesach leaves. Ad she'yehei is mashma the whole Pesach. Ad lifnei ha-Pesach. If he says ad lifnei ha-Pesach, he says the word lifnei ha-Pesach. Now, lifnei ha-Pesach can be is a suffix, guys. It can mean before Pesach, or it can mean before Pesach's over. It can mean before Pesach or before Pesach's over. So Meir Omer, Aser ad she'yagia, it's Aser until Pesach, and Rabbi Yossi Omer Aser ad she'yetze, it's Aser until what? So Rabbi Meir is of the opinion you're not nichnas into a suffix because it's mashma both ways, and Rabbi Yossi is mashma you are nichnas into a suffix, and therefore you would go until Pesach. Says the Gemara, Koinim yayin shani tayim, Amarev Yirmiyah, l'chashetechshach sarich she'elu l'chacham. If he would say the lashon of hayoim, right, the day, so we said at night it's mutter, he still would have to take off the neder. What are we worried about? That if we let him drink wine at night, we may make a mistake between hayoim and yom echad. Again, hayoim is until nightfall, yom echad is till the same time the next day. If we allow him to drink wine at night, we may mistakenly make a neder, right, and mistaking for hayoim to yom echad. So therefore, we make him take off the neder to avoid the problem of chas v'shalom going ahead and drinking wine at night when he actually said a whole day, and it would be over on the neder. That's what Rabbi Yomi says. My timer, Rabbi Yosef, gezerah hayoim b'shul yom echad. With goyza hayoim, which literally means at the end of the day I could drink wine, so at nightfall I should be able to drink wine. We're worried he may go ahead when he said yom echad, which he's not permitted at nightfall, that he will drink the wine. So to avoid that, what do? We say, okay, take off the net, not a problem, and then you won't have a problem. Amid Beis. So Amalei Abaye says, Hachi ligza biyoim echad mishum hayoim. Let's be geyser. If you allow him to drink wine, guys, during the day, guys, outside, look at me. If he says yom echad, let's say 12 p.m., he says yom echad. So 12 p.m. the next day, he's going to be able to drink wine. Why aren't you worried that if you let him drink wine during the day by yom echad, then by hayoim, he'll come to drink wine also during the day. If you're worried by hayoim, atu yom echad, why are you worried about a yom echad atu hayoim? We shouldn't let him drink wine. In other words, he should have to wait on the neder in the scenario I gave you at 12 p.m. He should have to wait nightfall to avoid making a mistake by using the lashon of hayoim. That's the kasha. And for the Gemara, Amalei, so Rabbi Yosef told Abaya, hayoim b'yom echad nichlif, but hayoim b'yom echad, a person is going to make a mistake. But hayoim yom echad b'hayoim like nichlif. We're ready when he said yom echad, where he's keeping 24 hours of asa, we're not worried that it's going to come to make a mistake because he already kept 24 hours of asa. Amar Avina, Amalim Reima, Hachi Amar Avucha Mishmei Rabbi Yosef. Kman Oz L'Shmaitza, the Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, that you acquire to do she'ela at night. It's Reb Nasan. It goes according to Reb Nasan. The Tanya, Reb Nasan Aimer, Kol HaNoider, Kilu Bana Bama. We had this Gemara twice in the Masechta. Anyone who goes ahead and makes a neder, it's Kilu Bana Bama. It's like you made a Bama. And anyone who's Mekayim the neder, Kilu Makder Alaha. So therefore we go ahead and we tell him to take off the neder at night, and therefore because of this reason. So two reasons, either because of Gzeira or because of being sure on the neder. If a person says Shabbos Zu, Asa B'chala Shabbos Kula, he's Asa the whole week. He's Asa the whole week, and the Shabbos is part of it. Now, Pshita, what's the Chiddush? Samad Tema, Yom Shabbat Kamar. I might think that what? He's saying Yom Shabbat is wanted to make the neder is only during the Choyol, right? But not the Shabbos itself. So Yom Shabbat, I mean, guys, the day of the week. Shabbat means the week. So the Chiddush is that he's even Asa on Shabbos. So he makes a neder on Monday, doesn't extend till Friday. It would go even to Shabbos. That's the Chiddush. Kamash Malon, that Shabbos is part of the neder. Next, Chodesh Zeh, Asa B'chala Chodesh, Rosh Chodesh Lahaba. He's Asa. If he says Chodesh Zeh, he's Asa B'chala Chodesh, Rosh Chodesh, and then Rosh Chodesh goes to the next month. In other words, he's permitted to drink wine on Rosh Chodesh. There's no pshita. Rosh Chodesh is shaykh to the next month. It's not shaykh to the first month. When do you need this chiddush? that the month following is a Chodesh Kasa. That you have 2 days of Rosh Chodesh, and he's standing on the first day of Rosh Chodesh, and he makes an edit and it says Chodesh Zeh. So the Tema Rosh Chodesh, the first Rosh Chodesh, the Sha'avar Have, it goes in the past, boy, since he's making, it's a Chasa. So it's 2 days Rosh Chodesh, right? So therefore, I might think it stands on the first day that it should be part of the next. Kamash Mulan, that part of the previous. Kamash Mulan, once a person calls Rosh Chodesh, even though it's the 30th day, it's not Rosh Chodesh, it's Rosh Chodesh. Shanazu asa b'chal shana kuli is asa the whole year. Iboy Amma koinim yayin shani toyim yoim. If he says koinim yayin that I'm tasting, and he has the word day, what's the din? Is the yoim like ki hayoim, and it's only asa till nightfall, or is it kiyam echad, or is it a full what, or a full month? Again, we know hayoim is until nightfall. We know Yom Echad is until 24 hours. I said a month, I meant 24 hours. If you say the word Yom, what does it mean? Does it mean until nightfall, or does it mean a full 24? We're going to try to be medayik from the Mishnah. We're not going to be successful. Tashma, Masnisa, what does the Mishnah say? Koinim yayin shani toyim hayoim. Ein asur ad shetechshach. You only asur until nightfall. Because it said hayoim. Hayoim. But if you would say yoim, I would say it's kiyam echad dummy. It's 24 hours. Ein maseifa. Ama yoim. Echad. If he says Yom Echad, Asa Miyom Liyoim, then he's also 24 hours. Hayoim Ki Hayoim, Mashma Yoim would be Ki Hayoim only up till nightfall. Dummy. Everybody have to conclude a ha from our Mishnah. Lekal Mashma Mino. We can't go ahead and make any diyukim. Wish everyone a good Tavach, a Fel Chanukah. Anyone who has a party, enjoy this.